All right, Seaho, good morning. I want to call this uh, business meeting of Seaho to order at 9:05 a.m., 8:05 a.m. Central Time. All right, so in a normal year, as you can see in the picture, the Chromock would be on stage with me, and we would also have two-step. And so if you want a history about our beloved two-step and our beloved Chromock, including how it was created by Jim Anderson from Standard Textile, you can look under the About link and there's a history, and you can get some information about both of those. But two-step symbolizes the financial health, and there's a whole story about a horse. Again, I don't have a ton of time this morning, so I won't get into it a whole lot, but I encourage you to go and take a look at that. So two-step is the blanket, and what you see in my hand in the picture again here is the Chromock, and it is handed from president to president to symbolize the passing of the torch of leadership. So those are two very important items to Seahoe that have great historical significance for us. As a point of reference, we have the business meeting agenda on the conference website. So if you click on conference, then Seahoe 2021, and scroll down to business meeting materials, you will see the business meeting agenda as well as the minutes that we're about to discuss here. So with those couple things out of the way, I want to move to our parliamentarian and assigning one, Dr. Paul Yar, who is retired, who has done this for several years, has come out of retirement, if you will, again for us. So we appreciate him always being willing to do that for us and to help us out in that way. He probably has the most important job today, which is keeping me in line in case I get out of it. So, so thank you, Dr. Yar. We appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Moving forward, we're going to go into a minutes review and just again, a couple of points here before I ask DeMarcus to run us through them. Again, there are two sets of minutes. In a traditional year, there would only be one, and it would be the business meeting minutes from last year's Seahoe. So what we did in Louisville, Seahoe 2020 would be the only set of minutes. Because 2020 has been such an interesting year, we did have another business meeting in January. And so the minutes from that meeting are also on the website again under the conference tab, Seahoe 2021. Hopefully you've had a chance to review both of those because DeMarcus is going to do a high level review and he's going to move relatively quickly. But just wanted to let you all know that we will be voting on both sets of minutes and our technology coordinator, Dr. Steve Kluver, will be posting a link in the chat. Just a reminder, there is only one voting person per institution, and that is the SHO or the designee. We will go through votes and remove any duplicates and or votes that didn't come from the designated person who was supposed to do that vote. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Mr. DeMarcus Merritt.
Good morning, Seahoe. We will review, as our President Naeem Charman indicated, we review the business meeting minutes for Thursday, February 27th, 2020, as well as the business meeting, the virtual business meeting that was held on January 13th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Central Time. You will have access to those documents, or you do have access via guidebook as well as directly through the Seahoe website. Let me see if I can pull this. Let's see if I can share screen. For 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Okay. Trying to share my screen. Excuse me, my age is showing a little bit.
Y'all good, DeMarcus? Try again.
Okay. Perfect. 2. All right, perfect. So again, these will be shared, and you're more than happy to review it individually on your device as you are, as we're going through this space. These will be voted on again together at a later part of this program. I will scroll through, kind of slow scroll. If anyone see it, I will try to make sure I be conscious of reading spans, but I will show the first one. This is the one from Thursday, February 27, 2020 at 8 a.m. when we're in the All-Star Olmsted Ballroom. So we'll give you a minute to review these for later. Okay, I will now switch over to the virtual business meeting held in January. It's basically the membership attendance, those who were present. There we go.
And Gavin is going to, friends, talk specifically to these constitutional changes coming up here as well. So just as an FYI.
Okay, as folks are continue to digest the rest of those minutes, I will just as a reminder from our bylaws, Regarding voting, each member institution that attends the previous annual conference or is registered for the current annual conference shall be entitled to one vote on any issue that comes before the body. All matters coming before the membership or at the annual business meeting shall be decided by a simple majority vote of the member institutions in attendance. All voting matters shall be sent to the identified senior housing officer's email list for review at least 3 weeks prior to the annual conference.
Thank you, DeMarcus. There's going to be a link posted here shortly in the chat that you'll be able to go to and vote for both of those. So thank you for reviewing those minutes. The total tabulations of votes will be in the official minutes once we have finished with that. Wanted to do a quick overview of kind of our 2020-2025 Seahoe strategic plan. We are in year 1, and there will be an actual full report, but I just wanted to hit a couple of highlights of things that we have done this year. So from section 1.1, launch a new or updated website. 2 things that I think we've done there. We did create the Seahoe Repository. So if you go and look at the website, and there's a, there's a straight link. It's not a straight link. The path to it, I wrote it down so I wouldn't do this and stumble over it. The path to that link is about guiding documents and then our strategic plan. And so you can go and pull the entire strategic plan. It comes up as a PDF. There's actually links from past strategic plan as well, the one from the previous 2014 to 2019. But you can see all of that and more detail in each one of these. But getting back to 1.1, we created the Seahoe Repository. And under that link, you have some information about things that have happened at past conferences. You can pull up a particular conference and see video sessions from each one of those. There's also some information about things that the research and information folks have done. So it's a great resource that has been created. We continue to update it. So thank you to Kluver and Brian Insel for getting that taken care of and or getting it started, and as we'll lean into it even more. And then we enhanced the electronic elections process. That's one of the things that we transitioned to OPA-Vote. And so we were able to, because of the pandemic and because it makes sense, moving into the future, we were able to do electronic voting. So if an institution is not here, they still have some representation and are able to vote. Moving into 2.1, it was consider corporate partners. So there's an ongoing discussion related to relay sponsorship and other opportunities and requests that we've gotten. Again, those things are not settled, but ongoing. We have pivoted to corporate partners in the virtual experience. Again, much thanks to Katie Lewis and her folks. They have done a great job with that. Then we're working to create a website section that highlights the corporate partners. And so you'll be able to see over the years who has been longtime supporters of Seahoe. So that, again, also under the leadership of Katie Lewis, we're putting that into place. And then 2.2, engage in intentional wealth management. This has been the one probably that's given me the most lack of sleep, but we were released from our 2021 contract with no penalty. Now, that does come with some other stipulations. We'll go back to Charleston in another year, and there's an update later in the business meeting about that. And then there's another attachment to that. Again, I'll cover both of those. We continue to review how we use our undesignated administrative funds. The conversations have been, how do we support our membership, as well as make sure that the organization is financially sound. And then this year, we engaged a financial advisor to talk about options for our reserve account, and again, how we can kind of bolster our savings. Next slide, please. And then 2.3, expand need-based scholarships for events. We distributed $2,850 in legacy fund to 30 people to attend the Hawaii Fall Series conferences. These are people who would normally not be able to attend. So again, help with that access to that. And then we work with donors to provide opportunities for scholarships and awards. Specifically, Gary Kimball comes to mind as he provided some additional funding for some of our graduate students who won awards. And then for 3.1, increased retention of campus housing professionals. The Seahoe All Year Initiative is something that under the leadership of Ben Wicker that we have really stepped into. It used to just be a hashtag, but now it's going to be a reality. And so, as you heard in the beginning, Bree Gates highlighted it, we're going to have continued programs and continued engagement for housing professionals so they can continue to feel that connection to Seahoe. And you also heard Paul mention it in his opening keynote. Retention of our professionals has been something that's not new. It remains in our strategic plan because it remains an issue. But we hope by doing that, we continue to engage folks. And then I also added the Seahorse Repository again, because it serves as a resource. And if somebody's dealing with an issue or needs some problems or some type of help, then they can come here and they can take a look at this. And then 3.3, I almost feel like I was cheating on this one, but with the pandemic, we did broaden the conference attendance. I think we're about 10 or 11 people short of 1,000 folks. So, that's great. Not the circumstances that are around it, but again, that we have that much reach has been wonderful. We hope to continue that number even outside of a pandemic. And last but not least, the last two, 4.1, stay on top of the national context. The president and president-elect have monthly meetings with regional leaders from all throughout Aku Hawaii, including our friends in Canada. And we talk through what's happening in other regions. A lot of what we found for this virtual conference, there was some trial and error from us speaking to other conferences and things that worked and things that didn't. So we tried our best to implement those. Again, we know it won't be perfect, but that helps us to stay on top of trends and to see what's working in other places and inform our opinion. And last but not least, 4.3, better communicative value proposition in the market area. So again, we're offering a free conference in consideration of the financial impact of COVID and in the effort to provide continued development for the region. So it's free this year. I won't guarantee that it'll be free this year, but again, understanding where value is at and understanding that the financing may be an issue for folks. So that is a quick and dirty rundown of the strategic report and some of the things that we've done. Just so you know, we haven't been sitting on our hands all year as an executive board, and that we've been trying to move the organization forward and stick to what we have written in our strategic plan.
Good morning, Seaho. Very excited to be with you this morning. Just a few kind of constitutional change updates that DeMarcus highlighted earlier in the minutes and that Nairi also alluded to. We didn't have our meeting in January, and those minutes reflect the exact changes that were outlined. Our January called business meeting was to allow us to update the Constitution to hold elections electronically via email. And so we clarified that it's an option to be able to do that now. And that was really the crux of those changes that are now found on the Seahoe website under guiding document, Seahoe Constitution. We were very excited to see that passed and that we were able to move forward. And we had our first ever email election, which I'll tell you the results a little bit later this morning. Thank you so much, and great seeing all your smiling faces, at least the ones that I get to see on the screen and the others. So thank you very much.
Good morning again, everybody. It's good to see you all this morning. I want to share some updates about Seahoe 2021 with you all. As Nairi alluded to, we had just under 1,000 people. Right now we have 991 registered delegates. We believe that more people will be viewing in other ways, either sitting in a room together or that they've obtained the link in some other way. We have 213 from Florida, 162 from North Carolina, 121 from Georgia, 102 from Tennessee, 92 from Virginia, 88 from South Carolina, 64 from Alabama, 61 from Kentucky, 56 from Mississippi, 25 from Louisiana, and 7 people registered from out of state. We have 179 different institutions registered. And as the president alluded to, that was at zero cost to any delegate or corporate partner. On Tuesday, we held a Seahoe U panel focused on COVID-19 and our campus responses to that with 12 original program sessions. We had over 420 people registered for interest in attending Seahoe U. We have 30 programs scheduled for the conference, and already after just one day, we have over 400 program evaluations submitted from you all. So great job there. Keep up the great work and letting us know how those programs are going. We have 47 registered corporate partners. Of those 47 corporate partners, 17 are sponsors, and they have sponsored us in the value of over $24,000. So that is awesome in a year where we are not gathering in person. So that just emphasizes the importance of you all making time to go in and say thank you to all of them for participating and continuing those relationships with us. And then here, my last couple minutes, I just want to send some thanks because there's not a great opportunity for me to do this, to my amazing host committee. They have done such a fantastic job. I've gotten so many comments from everybody, but I want to say their names because they have put so much work. And in no particular order, we have Zach Blackman from Wake Forest, who's been working with our budget, Katie Lewis from North Florida, who's done an amazing job with our corporate partners, Jeannie Hopper from Ole Miss, and Natalie Record from Florida Gulf Coast, who've been overseeing our guidebook operations, Julia Limpich from Charleston Southern, who was originally helping with local arrangements in Charleston, but has been helping us with technology and education, Michelle Safright from Middle Tennessee, who's been helping us with logistics, Alex Becking from Georgia Tech, who has done a fantastic job on the food and beverages for you all, but in light of that has also been helping out with technology and education, Bree Gates from Ole Miss overseeing our programs, Kat Mortensen from UT Chattanooga, and Stephanie Rewitzer from UNC Charlotte, overseeing registration, DeAndre Howard from Spartanburg Methodist, helping us with Zoom and technology, and JT Taylor from UT Chattanooga, who was working with our volunteers. I would also be remiss if I didn't appreciate and give a tremendous thank you to members of our executive board, especially to our treasurer and Bean Award recipient, Dr. Shylin Scott, for her leadership and help, our technology coordinator, Dr. Steve Kluver, for all of his amazing work and just rolling with the punches and helping us to get ready for this. And my good friend and brother, our president, Mr. Nairi Tryman, who has just displayed outstanding leadership through all of this and all that's going on, not just with the pandemic, but with everything that's going on in society, and being just a rock for Seahoe through this. I don't think many people realize the burden that he has carried and the grace with which he has handled his position this year. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who has helped to pull this conference off, because it has been a labor of love and it has been amazing. The last thing that I will say is thank you all for attending. It is an honor to be able to stand here, sit here in front of my computer in front of you all, and thank you for being here for this historic Seahoe event. Please know there's still more to come. As President Tryman was alluding to, Seahoe is more than just a conference. Seahoe is an association. This is the time we gather each year, but we are committed to engaging in a year-round fashion, and there is more to come from this conference in the months to come. So please don't think that after this, that's it. We will continue to engage you to the level that you want to be involved, and we hope that that will be at a high level. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been my honor to serve in this position, and I will now relinquish my speaking responsibilities and mute myself. I'm going to hand things over to Shylin.
Good morning. I'm excited to share our financial report with you this morning. In alignment with tradition, started in the late 1970s by Bob Stewart of the University of South Carolina, and to honor Two Step, whose blanket we display at all formal events, we will review our budget in terms of winnings, losses, and the cost of votes, and the cost of maintaining the training staff, which is, of course, all of us. Like us, Two Step had an interesting year with great uncertainty. Commitments had been made, contracts had been signed, and with the hard work and steadfast leadership of Nairi Tryman and with the assistance of the 2021 conference coordinator, Ben Wicker, in December of 2020, we reached agreement with our hotel group to be released from our contract without financial penalty. This was definitely a highlight and a relief of our last fiscal year. Two Steps race in Jacksonville actually provided the foundation for our last fiscal year of 2021. That conference provided $53,160.42, which funded oats and training. Combined with a few leftover winnings, we started with a budget of $83,226.86. Along the way this year, we've spent $48,987.73 on oats, maintenance, care, and really taking care of our many trainers. One of the biggest things was being able to have this conference with no cost to delegates. The balance remaining at the end of fiscal year 2021 is $40,256.63. In accordance with Seahoe fiscal policy, the Budget Review Committee met to determine how to allocate these funds. I'm pleased to report our reserve fund is above its required threshold with the current balance of $152,430.75. This will conclude the reporting for fiscal year 2021. Our current fiscal year started on February 1st, 2021, and is funded from the races in Louisville in 2020. Two Step wishes to thank trainer Renee Richard Gauntz and her team for their hard work and great race, contributing winnings of $58,356.28. Added to these winnings are the remaining encumbered funds from fiscal year 2021 for a total budget of $99,511.53, with $27,326.53 of that being slotted to undesignated administrative funds. These funds are set aside for immediate contingency needs, defraying unanticipated costs, and in the past, these funds have been used to offer conference support and also used to help fund this year's conference. In 2016, Seaho voted to increase our stables and invest in a friend for Two Step. And so Seaho created legacy by investing $150,000 with the Akuho'ai Foundation. These earnings are increased by your generosity and stewardship to Seaho through your giving. The balance of our legacy fund at the end of the third quarter of 2020 was right around $230,000. Last year, Legacy's winnings provided close to $3,000 in support of trainers across our region, funding certificate programs and other Akuho'ai professional development. I was able to speak with Scott from Akuho'ai yesterday, and I'm pleased to share that our current fund balance is $220,730,000.34. Legacy's winnings this year will provide over $8,000 for our trainers in support of Akuho'ai sponsored events. Although we still have uncertainty and challenges going forward, we are glad to report that Two Step and Legacy had a good year. If you have questions about our seeds or our stable, I'm glad to talk with you anytime. Thank you, and let me know how I can be helpful.
Hi, good morning, Seaho. I echo what Gavin said earlier. It is good to see some faces on the screen, or the ones that I can't see today. But just a quick update on the Seahoe report this year. We started with the facelift in early 2020 and gave a total renovation to the Seahoe report and what it looks like. And we are really excited about that. We had 5 issues this year of the Seahoe report, which is on par with what we had last year, one more than we had the year prior. This year, we also had our first holiday edition, and we had a special COVID-19 shout out edition where we asked universities to submit essential employees that we could honor in our spring edition. So we're really excited about that. And some additional things that we're working on for the Seahoe report this coming year are getting analytics, because we love data and assessment in our field, and we would love to provide that through the Seahoe report of who is viewing it, what they're viewing it from, and how we can better reach our viewers. So that's a quick update on the Seahoe report this year, and I will be stepping off and handing it to our new Seahoe report editor, Michael Dobrin, who will take over for the next 2 years.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here to talk with you about RELI really quickly. This year, RELI will take place from May 24th through 28th, and it'll be virtual. The application for RELI is currently open, and that application will close on March 22nd. We'll also be having an info session about RELI on March 5th at 12 p.m. There's information about that on the website so that you can find that and join us there. The core of RELI is always the amazing faculty who dedicate their knowledge and time. And so the group that we have this year is Andrew Naylor from Florida International, Dr. LaFerrin Merriweather from University of North Carolina, Greensboro, Brandon Thompson from Eastern Kentucky University, Dr. April Barnes from the University of South Carolina, Aubrey Adams from Louisiana State University, Kayla Hamilton from Emory University, Wesley Todd from Wake Forest University, Dr. Aaron Jones from Hines Community College, Curtis C.J. Jackson from North Carolina State University, Bree Gates from the University of Mississippi, Kayla Bullitt from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Dr. Jennifer Wilder from Florida A&M University, Liz Inagro from the University of Miami, Denaja Thomas from Wake Forest University, Dr. R.C. Stable from Vanderbilt University, and Dr. Brandon Brown from Birmingham Southern College.
Hi, I'm one of the RELI co-chairs. I'm Katrina Pavlock from North Carolina State University. As Anthony mentioned, the application is live right now. The deadline is going to be March 22nd. The info session on March 4th does require you to register for that event. So if you've got questions about RELI or interested in learning more, please register for that event. The deadline to register is March 3rd at midnight. And if you have questions about how to register, reach out to Dr. Stephanie Carter, Anthony White, or myself, and we can make sure that we get you that information. Something a little bit different about RELI this year is because RELI was canceled last year, we're actually extending the opportunity to a group of 4th year participants of 16 of those, to give them the opportunity since they may have missed it last year. So a little bit different this year, wanting to make sure that people don't miss that opportunity because of the pandemic and us having to cancel. So that's just something a little bit different for this coming year. And we're super excited about the opportunity. We can completely virtual this year and free for our participants as well. So we're super excited about this coming forward.
Hey, I'll jump in real quick, everybody. This is Stephanie. Hopefully you can hear me. My internet decided not to work and they're cutting grass outside my house, but I'm the 3rd RELI co-chair that's helping with this year, and I look forward to seeing applications from everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chloe O'Sullivan. I currently serve as the Saxer Regional Director, and I'm hosted at the University of Florida. Is there ability to share my screen real quickly? Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. So like I said, I'm the Regional Director of the South Atlantic affiliate within NACUR. The SACER Executive Committee, which is the leadership body for the South Atlantic, is made up of 10 individuals, 9 of which are student leaders, 2 are conference chairs, and then we have 1 regional advisor, and we are all hosts at different institutions across the South Atlantic. So the South Atlantic is the biggest region within NACUR. We have 55 affiliated institutions, which is really exciting. 36 of them also hold a chapter of the National Residence Hall Honorary. Each year we hold 2 conferences. Our Regional Leadership Conference is open to representatives as well as delegates, and that's where you have educational sessions as well as boardroom. And that's in October to November of each fall. And then Regional Business Conference is predominantly just reps and their advisors, and that's in spring around the February-March timeline. And we actually just had ours last week. So nice transition from RBC to Seaho this week. Like I said, we're the largest region within NACUR. Our mascot is Louis the Lion for the fierce pride that our reps have. And each year, the Regional Board of Directors, which is also named the SEC, creates a strategic platform that really helps guide the region for that year. As turnover in positions are 1 year long, we really look at what can we do in this 1 year that the current executive members can also execute. So we have about 5 different areas this year in our strategic platform, looking at things of how do we cater a region to a virtual platform. So still looking at how do we increase virtual engagement while also acknowledging some of the things that have happened this past year and how do we create educational spaces and include social justice and educational opportunities, not just in specific designated areas or spots and meetings that we have, but how do we more naturally include that throughout all spaces that we host and that we offer for reps, for new reps, returning ones, as well as delegates within the region. Upcoming happenings and a couple things that just occurred. So we just had a regional business conference, and that's our last regional conference of the year. We have the NACUR annual conference that's coming up in June. It's a little bit later than usual, and registration for that will start in March. We currently don't have a deadline for that, when registration will end, as well as the cost is to be announced. So we're waiting to hear a few more details on that. And at the virtual business conference, that's when we did our election process. There are a few spots that remain vacant on the board. So I encourage you all, if you are an affiliated institution, if you have anyone in your RHA or NRHH chapters that you think would be great for the SEC, I'd encourage you to have them to apply. Our process just opened up this past Tuesday and will be open for the next 2.5 weeks. So I'm really excited about what the next board will look like. And with that, I yield. I don't know if there are any questions, but that's it for my update.
Chloe, thank you for your leadership of the region and our students. I'm Bob Boyle. I'm the conference coordinator for Seaho 2020. Preparations are already underway for that event. And as you can see on the slide, save the date, March 1st through 4th, 2022. Our plan is to be in Asheville, North Carolina at the Omni Grove Park Inn. Obviously, the work Ben and everybody is doing right now will be benefit to not only the association benefiting right now, but also the future, including for 2022. You know, we're planning for the best, but also planning for if we need to adjust things in the current environment. And so save the date, and I hope to see everybody in Asheville in 369 days.
But who's counting, right, Bob?
That's right, who's counting?
Very quickly, so as you heard me say earlier, we were able to get out of our 2021 contractual obligations penalty-free. Well, for 2024, we are going to return to Charleston. So yay! We missed it in 21, but we'll be back in 24. And part of that agreement is that we also are going to sign another contract with the Atrium Group to a location that I am not ready to disclose to everyone yet. But note that yours truly and Mike Jones from Vanderbilt University have made a site visit, and we are working with Ken Arnold and Experience Merits Group to get that ink on that dotted line for that one. So with that said, we'll move forward to our awards and recognition.
Greetings, Seaho. My name is Julie McMahon. I serve as the Director of Housing and Residential Life at the University of South Carolina, Upstate. And on behalf of the Awards and Recognition Committee, I am proud to present the Seaho Founders Award. Aptly named for some of our brightest past leaders, including Harold Recker, Edith McCollum, John Story, Raymond C. King, and Donald R. Moore, we present this award annually to an individual whose dedicated service and initiative to Seaho epitomizes the work of our founders. The criteria for the Seaho Founders Award is that the individual has served for a minimum of 5 years in a housing and residential life role in the Seaho region, that they have served on at least 2 committees or task forces, or been a member of our governing council. However, most of our Founders Award recipients have actually done all 3. And that their work has been judged instrumental in both advancing the Seaho organization and the profession of housing and residential life. What makes this award unique from others is that 2 to 3 nominations are submitted. However, none of those letters can come from the recipient's institution. So it takes quite a coordinated effort to pull this together. Our committee thanks Kathy Hobgood at Clemson University, Gavin Rourke at Virginia Commonwealth University, and Dr. Shannon Staten at Florida State University for their kind words and thoughtful nomination on today's recipient. Now I will invite in Kathy Hobgood, Assistant Vice President of Student Auxiliary Services at Clemson University, to share some excerpts from the nomination letters.
Greetings, colleagues. It was among the greatest honors of my life to serve as the Seaho Archivist from 2011 to 2020 and as the chairperson for the Seaho 50th Anniversary Celebration in 2014. Having spent most of the past decade studying our association founders and reading their words in their original bad handwriting, I feel uniquely qualified to vouch that our recipient is a professional whose experience, service, and spirit is absolutely worthy of this honor. Our recipient has attended every annual conference since 1993. They've served on multiple committees, task forces, numerous advisory roles, and held most positions within the elected slate of the association, including the presidential path, and served as Rely faculty. They've mentored hundreds of professionals from the region and pre-professionals on their campus. They care greatly about the history of our association, sharing that history with others, and showing outstanding Seaho pride. And they are currently serving in both advisory roles, the first person in Seaho history to do so. In the 50th anniversary Seaho history book, this year's Founders Award recipient provided the following reflection. Seaho has been my professional home since I attended my first Seaho in Charlotte. I was hooked, and I knew that I would become a regular. Seaho gives housing professionals the opportunity to come together once a year and grow, learn, and share ideas that makes each of us a stronger professional. The nomination team holds this individual in the very highest regard, and we are fortunate to call him a professional colleague and friend. At this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Chandra Myrick, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Life and Executive Director of Student Housing at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, to make the presentation.
Hi. Well, I would like to first of all thank you so much, Kathy, and ask if everyone could please join the nominators and our team here at the University of Tennessee in congratulating this year's Founders Award winner, Jerry Adams.
Never would I have thought this would be coming my way. So total shock. Did not know I was even nominated. I guess I could take off my mask a little bit. It is that time of the year, but thank you so much. That's really it. You know how much I love Seaho. I have the Kathy Seaho love. And I see Kathy at the top of Chandra's screen there. But so many people have been so supportive over the years, from Jim Grubb to getting me involved, to Phil Reardon. Can't never forget Al Calarco from back in the day when he was the first person who talked to me about being on the programming committee. So it has been a true journey of love for 27, 28 years with Seaho, and all the staff here who supported me over the years, especially Miles, Steve, and Kim, who when I was president was here picking up the pieces as I was always doing Seaho work. So, and it's been so much fun to have Chandler here, to actually have someone who understands Seahoe and to work with someone who's so supportive of Seahoe and has done so much herself. So not what I expected, not what she told me 5 minutes ago. She's a good liar. She told me we had a rock crisis and I was on my phone trying to find rock pictures students sent me this weekend and all this stuff. So, but wow, never. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Yay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today to make the surprise announcement to Jerry Adams as the 2021 Seahoe Founders Award. And thank you again to the nomination team. We really appreciate your kind words about Jerry Adams.
Hello, Seahoe. I hope you're enjoying your virtual conference experience so far. My name is Katie Lewis, and I currently serve as the Corporate Partners Committee Chair. I'm beyond excited to announce the winner of this year's Corporate Partner Award. This award is presented annually to a corporate partner that has shown support for Seahoe and its member institutions. The winner of this award should demonstrate a connection to Seahoe in our annual conference for a minimum of 3 consecutive years through attendance at our annual conference and participation in our exhibit experiences. They should be creating relationships with institutions and sharing knowledge and resources by presenting at a conference, writing articles for the profession, and utilizing their products or services at Seahoe affiliated institutions. For this year's recipient, I would like to share a few clips from the recipient's nomination letters. And the first nominator said, "Over the 7 years of using this corporate partner services, I've seen it change and adapt to meet the unique needs within residence life. A majority of these changes came directly from user feedback. They're known for creating and supporting a community of learners. They host frequent webinars, post blogs, send newsletters, and have some fun giveaways. I know I can reach out at any point and receive a prompt and friendly answer, and they'll typically share a suggestion or tip on how to improve what I'm working on. This past year, they created more than a conference. They created an interactive experience to actually share knowledge. This is reflective of their emphasis on creating and sustaining community. I believe this company embodies our Seahoe values, especially being connected, intentional, collaborative, inclusive, and innovative." And another nominator shared the following. "When institutions were closing across the nation, this company was there providing debriefing spaces and game nights so that all of us could just take a break. They understand what we're going through as the year unfolds because so many of their staff are former housing professionals. This serves as a tremendous benefit to us as they have a finger on the pulse of what we need, even before we know to ask. They hosted multiple initiatives this past year to demonstrate that we are more than just users, that we're friends. Some initiatives include housing and residence life recognition campaigns, their annual conference, December's 8 days of giveaways, virtual webinars, regular newsletters, and virtual community connection series. The entirety of 2021 has been exceptionally stressful, and this company has stepped up time and time again to help lessen our burden and bring smiles to our faces." And another nominator expressed the following about this company. "The biggest challenge we faced in 2020 was not knowing when or how residents could retrieve their personal belongings. This company worked tirelessly to help create and implement new processes to facilitate a pragmatic and safe move-out process. This company thought through the student perspective of the user experience and adapted client communication tools to provide clear instructions for completion. Between quickly developing new forms and services that could meet the new demands of an all-virtual campus to hosting webinars and roundtable discussions that helped professionals connect over their approaches, this company never let their clients face the challenge alone. They consistently represent their services at the annual conference and work to support many institutions in the region. So please join me in congratulating this year's Corporate Partner Award winner, eRes Life." And so to my friends over at eRes Life, your plaque is safe and sound with me in Florida. but fear not, I'll be working to mail it to you in the near future. So thank you again for your unwavering Seahoe support.
Hey Seaho, my name is Michael Dobrin and I serve as a residence coordinator at Louisiana State University and your Seaho report editor. We had a lot of fantastic articles submitted to and published in the Seaho report since we met in Louisville last year, and I am excited to welcome LaFarren Merriweather to announce this year's winner of the Seaho Report Article of the Year Award. LaFarren, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. So, on behalf of Seaho, I have the pleasure of awarding you the Seaho Report Article of the Year. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Now we'll have a reading of Resolution of Appreciation for Steve Waller. Renee Rashad Gomes.
Thanks, Myri. I am both humbled and honored to present this. Last year when I was with you in Louisville, I told you that it was the beginning of something amazing. I had no idea what we were really getting ourselves into, did we? So one of the things that happened this year was the retirement of my longtime boss. And so today I would like to read you the resolution that was brought forth and approved by the Governing Council. Whereas Steve Waller served as a housing residence life professional with distinction for the past 23 years, and whereas Steve supported the goals of the Southeastern Association of Housing Officers through decades of service and support across the state of Louisiana and within the Association of College and University Housing Officers International, and whereas Steve also promoted the housing residence life profession through leadership, mentorship, and involvement at the state and national level, and in service through his previous positions as the Associate Director for Facilities, the Director of Residential Life, and most recently, the Assistant Vice President for the Department of Residence Life at Louisiana State University. Whereas Steve's tenure as a housing residence life professional was characterized by intentionality, knowledge and skill, ethical decision-making, the empowerment of others, business acumen, strategic thinking, patience, and an appreciation for facilities. And whereas Steve's career as a housing professional began after retiring as Lieutenant Colonel with the United States Air Force, be it their resolve that the Governing Council of the Southeastern Association of Housing Officers, on behalf of its membership, wishes to express its sincerest appreciation and highest esteem to Steve Waller for his exemplary contributions to our association and our field. Please join me in thanking Steve.
It is my honor and privilege to read the following resolution of appreciation for Dave Saxer. Whereas Dave Saxer served as a housing and residence life professional with distinction for the past 37 years, and whereas Dave supported the goals of the Southeastern Association of Housing Officers through decades of service and support in several institutions and regions, as well as within the Association of College and University Housing Officers International, and whereas Dave provided leadership and involvement to the joint efforts of the CUHO-I and the Association of Physical Plant Administrators to educate, network, and develop the facility and operations staff within our institutions. Whereas Dave's tenure as a housing and residence life professional was characterized by intentionality, knowledge, business acumen, strategic thinking, and an understanding of students' needs. And whereas Dave's tenure at Florida State University for the past 18 years has provided outstanding service and environments for residents, including overseeing the construction of 9 new residence halls and over $70 million of renovations, be it therefore resolved that the Governing Council of the Southeastern Association of Housing Officers, on behalf of its membership, wishes to express its sincerest appreciation and highest esteem to Dave Saxer for his exemplary contributions to our association and our field. Please join me in thanking Dave Saxer.
Hello, Seaho. As past president, I have the pleasure of overseeing the nominations process for the association. I want to take a moment to thank the Seahoe Nominations Committee, which included Andrea Becker from Virginia Commonwealth University, Chandra Myrick from University of Tennessee at Knoxville, Ben St. Cyr from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and Anthony White from Radford University. In addition to Bob Bull from University of North Florida. Please join me in a virtual round of applause for the nominations committee. I want to take a moment to also recognize and thank everyone that was willing to take the call and serve on the Seahoe 2021 slate. You can find those individuals on our Seahoe website or in guidebook, but I know that the future of Seahoe is very bright because of all of these wonderful leaders that are willing to serve our association, and that we are in good hands, and that the future of Seahoe looks very bright. Again, please give them a round of applause, virtual shout out, but a big thanks to everyone that was on the slate this year. So now I get to announce the results. And first we have our Seahoe president-elect, Jeannie Hopper. Our Seahoe treasurer-elect, Dr. LaFarron Merriweather. Our Seahoe director of committees, Mike Jones. And our Seahoe inaugural, first Seahoe director of communications, Kayla Kowalski. Please join me in congratulating and celebrating these fine four individuals. Again, thank you everyone, and yay Seahoe.
Ben, any other announcements from 2021?
No, just please make sure that you take time to attend all the sessions today and to spend time with our corporate partners booth, to attend committee and state meetings, to visit the Akuho'ai Foundation booth. And also, you know, I want to own that I made a major leadership faux pas earlier and forgetting one of my committee members. I read my notes out of order, which is also a big mistake. So a tremendous thank you also to Sarah Sheldon at Florida State University, who has been working with our marketing and communications and has done a great job. So Sarah, please forgive me and thank you for your work. And I'll turn it back over to Nairi.
And Sarah is also running the PowerPoint, so done a great job with that as well. So thank you, Sarah. And thank you to the entire committee. So with that, I will call this business meeting to close at 10:02 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:02 a.m. Central Time. As Ben said, please attend sessions. We have some great content ready for you. Thanks, everyone.